Hello and welcome to the Celebrating Life podcast with Sony Thomas. Let me invite you to a small thought that can create a big impact for you in celebrating your life.
In today's episode of Small Thought, Big Impact, we look at the aftermath of being a go-getter. A go-getter is said to be an aggressively enterprising person. The ability of people to display a go-getter attitude is admired and praised everywhere, be it at work or among family and friends or the community. People take a lot of pride in saying, "I'm a go-getter." In my interactions with go-getters, some have shared with me that they feel like there is a lot of going, but not a lot of getting. I didn't initially understand the depth of what it meant. So on further probing, they say that the getting from all the going does not make them happy anymore. Rather, they feel anxious and empty inside. In our sessions, they would ask me, how can I feel more content? If you are a go-getter struggling with similar feelings of a lot of going but not a lot of getting, take a moment to ask yourself, what really matters to you? In my understanding, this is an outcome of the go not being in sync with who you are as a human being. Tim Rath says, you cannot be anything you want to be, but you can be a whole lot more of who you already are. So as a go-getter, are you getting closer to who you already are? There are different psychological factors that trigger this emptiness. Let me share with you about a condition called fear of missing out. Many years ago, after a training sessions on self-esteem, while having a one-to-one conversation with a participant, he shared with me how he feels like he's missing out on things and how he would force himself into uncomfortable situations. But many times, after the initial excitement, he would feel empty again and would start searching for the next thing to do. In the short time I had with him, I tried to help him focus on what is most important to him at that moment. I didn't think much about it back then. I just assumed he was exploring his opportunities. Some years later, in a chat with my very young cousin, she sent me #FOMO, and I did not know what it meant. And she explained it to me, fear of missing out. As we discussed her feeling, it dawned on me that the digital native generation is struggling with it. Fast forward to 2022, #FOMO is becoming a style statement, a marketing gig, and telling people I have FOMO is considered brave and people expect sympathy for it. I see #FOMO as a cultural bubble waiting to burst, just like #greed is okay. We are creating a social problem by normalizing something that is flawed in human psychology for business or political or social exploits. This happened with drug abuse in the 70s, casual sex, greed, and now FOMO. Actually, FOMO has been around for centuries, where FOMO might have been useful in survival. It's just that now, social media amplifies our fears exponentially and there is no escape from it. FOMO has its advantages in goal achievement and in the pursuit of the good life. But when a person's self-identity, self-worth is put in the mix, and by normalizing it, we are headed for a generation of people filled with real anxiety without the tools to manage it. They're constantly looking over their shoulder to see what they are missing out on and not celebrating the fruit of their labor nor finding satisfaction in their success. Imagine this, you are having a conversation with a person. While talking to you, that person is continuously looking over your shoulder as if to look for something or someone. You might even think he's looking for someone better to talk to than you. How does that make you feel? I guess it would make you feel ignored, disrespected, and disconnected. As a result, that person will be unable to see you for what you are and will not be able to have an engaging conversation with you. That person might miss out on having a meaningful and long-lasting relationship with you. Transpose this experience into life. Imagine you're always looking for something else in life. Will you ever be able to see what you have? What you have becomes invisible to you. Worse, you cannot connect or find happiness in what you have. You are not focused on what is in front of you. Rather, you are wandering around to find something new. You are lost in the vicious cycle of the chase. If you are struggling with FOMO, or if you know someone you care about struggling with it, please do not brush it off by normalizing it as a trend. Seek help to peel the layers of FOMO to uncover what really matters to you.
Celebrating life is about the journey, and if I have brought value to your journey of life, I urge you to share this small thought with a close friend, a family member, or even a colleague so we can together build a happier world. For more thoughts on celebrating life, I invite you to stay connected with us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the Celebrating Life community. Thank you for your time and make it a wonderful day.